All right, back at TD Garden, I'm Josue Pavon alongside Jimmy Toscano. The Celtics lose in double overtime to the New York Knicks, 131-129. But this team is on to Cleveland. I mean, literally, they just left. Jimmy.
Like I just saw.
I think that was them.
It's 1 a.m. here, folks.
Yeah, like it's one of those nights. And look, I don't know who made this schedule, but damn, like the 7:30 start.
Schedule maker had a problem with these guys.
The 7:30 start was one thing, but now after playing through double overtime, what do you expect from the Celtics team? And do you think Joe Mazzulla needs to go deep into his bench?
I don't think he has a choice. I mean, I don't think you're going to have Horford tomorrow, right? I mean,
he should have went deep into his bench in this one, but we can talk about that later.
Brogdon's banged up. Rob, we know, is not playing.
Right. And Joe Mazzulla telling us that there's no word if Brogdon's even going to make the trip. So he
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't, because they have to come back here. They're coming back here to play Atlanta 2 days later, and they're going out west. So they're all over the map. I don't know why the game was. We're not going to get into it. I don't know why it was a night game on Sunday.
Well, that's my thing, Jimmy. So everyone talks about how deep this team is. Well, let's see it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Go deep into his bench and call on guys that haven't been playing the last couple of games.
You know what, Josue? Unfortunately, they did not look deep Sunday night because their bench did next to nothing. And again, Brogdon's out, so that's your bench leader right there. But whether it was Hauser, whether it was Grant, who's our big guy? Our Muscala. Say it.
Mike Muscala.
Those guys were ineffective.
Muscala sounds like a nice Italian restaurant.
Yeah, it does. It's like Gabagoo.
Yeah, right.
Paul Bufano.
Right.
Paul Bufano.
Paul Bufano.
All right, before we go off the rails quickly.
Yeah, we're already off the rails. I guess it's getting late.
Depth is a concern for sure, because it wasn't where it was a Tatum and Brown game tonight. Horford contributed. I didn't see enough of White that I wanted to see, and Smart had a rough one. So there was a Tatum and Brown game Sunday night. It was almost enough, but it wasn't. They need more help from their depth, from the 6th, 7th, and 8th guys in that rotation. Not just now, but obviously moving into the playoffs. So that's something that they're definitely going to call on against Cleveland. You're already undermanned. You're already undersized. And that's my big concern, if we're going to get into concerns at some point, is that they're undersized. Right. Because without Rob, you got Al Horford that they want to conserve, obviously.
Yeah, this isn't an athletic Cleveland team we're talking about. Evan Mobley, guys up front. I mean, 1 through 5, they're tall enough, but especially in the front court. Yeah, when it comes to cleaning the glass and playing defense, I mean, if you don't take care of business, Cleveland it'll be a long night for the Celtics.
It might be a Grant game, and this is a guy that didn't even play against Cleveland last week, and he's going to end up probably playing mid-30s tomorrow, because who else are they going to play?
No Rob.
Right, no Rob, and if you don't have Al, if they say Al's not going to play a back-to-back, then you're kind of stuck with that situation. So it's going to be interesting. I don't have high hopes for this one just because of the schedule situation and the fact that they just did a double overtime game. I mean, 40-plus minutes for some of these guys.
It's a tough turnaround.
And they're not playing great connected basketball right now to begin with. So they're going into Cleveland against a team that they credit to them, they did beat. They did have a good game against. But can they get off of this weird up and down basketball style that they've been playing right now on both ends of the court?
I mean, that's the question. I think it's going to take other guys getting involved. I do think someone like Derek White is part of that.
He's going to be huge.
I think Grant Williams is as well. He's got to get out of this funk. I think this is his spot for sure. Look, I like what we saw out of Grant. I mean, Sunday, a lot of the defensive stops on Julius Randle, especially when he was on his way to almost 40, I thought was huge. Second chance opportunities. I mean, Al Horford's doing a lot of that as well. A couple of blocks. I mean, he's staying in front of his guys, which is a start. I mean, when he's not hesitating to take that 3-point shot, he can knock it down. But he's hesitating all the time. It seemed like the 2 times he didn't hesitate, it went through for him. So hopefully that's not the case in Cleveland.
He still looks extremely hesitant, a little bit lost on offense right now. Definitely. He needs to get that swagger back wherever it went. He needs to find that, and tomorrow, like you said, would be a perfect opportunity for him to do that. This team in general, they need. What did Al Horford say? Did Al Horford say after Sunday's loss that they need to find that something back again? They're not locked in, I think is what he said.
That's what he said. Yeah.
They need to get locked in, and I think that's perfectly put, because they did not feel locked in at points down the stretch Sunday night. Felt like they were out of sorts. They weren't on the same wavelength offensively specifically, and they need to find that again. I mean, it's there. We know this team is certainly talented enough, but they're just not playing. They're letting less talented teams outwork them and just beat them straight up like the Knicks did, and against a tough Cleveland team where they've had trouble with, let's be honest, this season. Guys that can score in bunches. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is up there with the best of them. I mean, if he gets hot, there's only a few guys in the league that can go toe-to-toe with him. The Celtics do have a couple of them, which is great, but it's going to need to be, like you say, it's going to need to be somebody off the beaten path, somebody who
Right.
doesn't typically contribute in the way that they're going to need them to Monday night.
And this edition of the Garden Report is brought to you by Athletic Greens. Head over to athleticgreens.com/garden, where you can get a year's supply of vitamin D, 5 free travel packs, and take care of your health if you haven't already.
That's right.
So get on that, all right? It's athleticgreens.com/garden. That's athleticgreens.com/garden.